Here are the 7 most common traits that we find in people that have successfully been able to retire. Number 1. People who successfully retire understand that time is actually their scarcest commodity. Now, granted, we can make a whole case for health is actually something that is closely in second, because obviously the older that you get, in many cases, the more the health that you had is no longer the health you currently have. It usually is deteriorating. But really, people that have a successful retirement, and by successful, I mean they have a life that they enjoy, they're able to do the things that matter to them, they're able to actually step away from the careers they once had and do things that really are important, are the ones who understand there is obviously a limited amount of money they may have, or a limited amount of opportunities, or like we mentioned, their health may not be what it used to be. Time is actually the most important commodity they have, because it's something that they can't make more of, they can't buy more of it, and it usually in many cases is actually the scarcest. Once you retire, let's assume you're 65 years old, even if you live to be 100 years old, that's only 35 years. The majority of your life is already behind you. So understanding that and going into it with that mentality will allow you to really focus on things that are most important to you. The other thing we've noticed with people who have been able to successfully retire is they're not willing to trade their time for money. Instead, what they do, in many cases, they come to us in our team and say, how do I instead have my money work for me to afford me the time I want to do the things that are truly important, whether it be spend time with family, go on vacations, volunteer, spend time at church, whatever the case may be. They no longer are exchanging their time for money because they understand their time is actually their most valuable commodity. Number 2, they value health. They understand, especially as we're getting older, things don't work quite the way they used to. Our health isn't as guaranteed as it was perhaps when we were teenagers or 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be. So they prioritize not only going to doctors, but also they prioritize exercising, being outdoors, eating the proper foods, not drinking too much, not smoking, things of that nature. They are much more of a priority to people who successfully retire. So they dedicate at least a portion of their time towards doing these things. Not only that, the ancillary benefits are it relieves stress. So if you're constantly or spending a good amount of time each week exercising, eating properly, getting the right amount of sleep, maintaining a healthy diet, a healthy weight, all those different things, not taking in too much caffeine, not taking in too much alcohol, you're not only going to be able to prolong your life and maintain a higher quality of life because you're going to be healthier, but your stress level will also be significantly lower. Third thing we've noticed is that people who have usually happy and successful retirements are social. People were created to be social beings. We were created to spend time around each other. So being isolated tends to lead to negative moods, depression, anxiety, a whole myriad of different things. But the people who we find have the most happy, successful, fulfilling retirements are the ones who spend the most time around other people. And this could be their family. This could be people that attend their local church, people that are involved in similar organizations, neighbors, friends, whatever the case may be. If you dedicate a good amount of your time to being social and with others who you enjoy their company, the quality of your retirement is going to go up exponentially. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Will Snodgrass. I'm the president of Mat25 Capital. We are a Christian wealth advisory firm located in Texas. This list is far from exhaustive, but it's just something we've noticed that people who have the most fulfilling and the most joyful and the best time during retirement, aside from the financial aspects, tend to have these character traits in common with each other. Number 4 is something that is a little unique in that what we've noticed is most people who are successfully retired did not wait until they were retired to really enjoy their life and enjoy things that matter to them. I don't know if any of you know people like this, but I certainly do. There's plenty of people who spend their whole lives working, they put their noses to the grindstone, and they just press on, and they assume that, okay, I'm going to get to retirement, and then I'm going to really be able to enjoy my time. I'm really going to be able to do those trips that I always wanted to do, or those activities that meant so much to me, and spend time with family that I couldn't before. The problem is, all too often, we've seen that someone may do that, and then by the time they actually get to that point, now all of a sudden their health is failing, or there might be a global event like coronavirus, or whatever the case may be. There may be something that interrupts that. So all those ambitions, all those things they put off for later now may not be feasible. Don't wait until you're retired to start doing the things that really matter to you and spend the time with people that you really care about. The number 5 trait we've found that a lot of people have in common is they have a strong sense of purpose. One of the worst things you can do is go into retirement without any idea about how you're going to occupy your time, because then you may feel like you really aren't doing anything productive. You're not serving a purpose anymore. When you're working, there's reasons for you to do it. You're making a living, you're paying wages, you're responsible for taking care of your family, or perhaps if you own a business, you're responsible for people working for you. You don't want to go into retirement without having a strong sense of purpose and continuing on and doing things that are of value. And there's no shortage of things you could find that are valuable. So my recommendation is really understand the value you have, the purpose for your life, and then that's going to help dictate a lot of the ways you allocate your time in retirement, and you're going to find it very fulfilling with the things you do, whether it be giving back or, like we said, spending time with people that matter to you. Whatever the case may be, whatever you're called to do, find your purpose, find your value, and you will have a much, much more fulfilling retirement than you could otherwise. Number 6, never stop learning. It's surprising to me how many people think that they just go into retirement, they're going to spend their time literally just sitting on a sofa watching TV or playing golf or maybe gardening. You can only do so many of those things. The old adage is if you don't use it, you lose it. Well, that could not be more true for mentally. You want to try and stay mentally sharp. It doesn't mean you have to go back into school. Some people do that, but at the very least, do things that are challenging, things that are pushing you. You're learning new skills, new traits, things that are keeping you mentally sharp and aware. You're going to find that that's going to really help you in the long term, and it's going to be a source of great fulfillment as well. Number 7, people that have this situation will understand that people who don't may not, but it's interesting to see how many people that have a pet, in particular a dog or a cat, find so much more fulfillment out of retirement. And I'm not saying you have to go out and get a pet if you don't already have one, but it's remarkable the level of companionship and the amount of joy that having an animal that loves you unconditionally and is always there for you, just looking forward to spend time with you, really brings to people. Now, it's never a replacement for family and friends and things of that nature, but it truly is incredible how pets were designed to just bring us such fulfillment and joy. And a lot of the people we work with who have had a very joyful and long tenured retirement tend to have a pet or multiple along the way. And this is just an anecdote. Don't wait until things are, quote, perfect or you have a particular dollar amount. Granted, I'm not discarding planning. I'm a huge proponent, obviously, really understanding what the dollar amount is you need in order to successfully retire. But what I'm saying is similar to if you have children, there was never perhaps a perfect time to have children. There's never a perfect time to retire. The truth of the matter is, if you're close enough to where you know you have a certain level of confidence you can retire well, unless there's a compelling reason not to, working a handful of extra years or even just however many months will probably not move the needle too much. So if you're close to the point where you feel confident that you can retire and you can financially sustain it for the duration of your life, then what's really holding you back? And if you're not sure if you're at that point or what it's going to take to get to that point, give us a call. Go to our website at map25capital.com. Well, we're happy to have a consultation. This is really what we do for a living. Most of our clients currently are pre-retirees or retirees. Granted, we have plenty that aren't, but this is really our bread and butter, if you will. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. As always, thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and hope to see you around.